Hello folks and welcome back to the program. Today I'm talking about that 52-foot drop in our favorite park, Splash Mountain. My favorite ride at Walt Disney World, Stephanie, my wife's favorite at Walt Disney World, and hopefully your favorite if you're watching this video. Today I'm going to give you a breakdown on not only the vinyl soundtrack, but the ride itself, and how it came to be, stuff you probably already know if you're a fan of Disney, and many more things in between. Before we begin though, check out Manza Illustrations. It's in the description of this video, down below. That is my business with my wife. We go ahead and make you high quality pieces of artwork, commission pieces for family, friends, holiday gifts, commissions, t-shirt designs, children's books, logo designs, whatever it may be, whatever's rolling around there in your mind, I'll make it happen. Reach out to Manza Illustrations today. The link is in the description. Today is all about Brer Fox, Brer Bear, and Brer Rabbit as we take a look at the beautiful ride that is Walt Disney's Splash Mountain. I'll try to keep this story real simple. In the mid-'80s, Walt Disney Company was run by a man named Michael Eisner. Michael Eisner went ahead and wanted to make a ride based on the movie Splash starring Tom Hanks. Quite honest with you, I've never seen that movie. I know it's on Disney Plus, and heck, the only reason I know it's on Disney Plus is because it had that story where they blurred out some of the female parts because you see some of it, and so they made her hair cover some of that in the film on Disney Plus. But for some reason that movie got some traction, got some views in the public eye. The CEO, Michael Eisner, wanted to promote the film Splash, so therefore he called it Splash Mountain. What's funny enough and weird enough is that doesn't market that movie at all because only by name of the word Splash. Because Tony Baxter developed a ride called Zippity-Doo River Run, a log-flume ride based on Walt Disney's Song of the South. Now what he was thinking at the time, I don't know, and why he would choose that, I don't know, but I guess he was just looking at it from a creative standpoint in terms of that it stars a rabbit, a bear, and a fox, and they're all in this southern kind of style. Maybe we can have a big tree and all that kind of, crawdads and all that kind of stuff, all those kind of river animals, and other theme parks were doing this at the time that were log flume style, and other parks had done it successfully. So Disney thought that they'd take their whack at it, and the Imagineers went to work on what would become Splash Mountain. But at the time it was called Zippity-Doo River Run, until Michael Eisner came in and said, hey, why don't we put the word splash in it? Put the word splash in it, people are gonna watch that Splash movie. Splash something, Splash Mountain, make it that. People will not only love the ride, but they'll watch the new movie, Splash. That has nothing to do with the ride that it's based on, so people will be confused, but at least they'll buy it. That's a very weird marketing strategy, if you ask me. The ride consists of 6 levels. First, you're brought up all the way, and you don't even realize how high you're getting. And then you drop down almost 40 miles an hour each time, in all these different layers and all these levels to the ride, which is another reason why I love it. It's around 9 to 12 minutes of just pure bliss from the sights, sounds, smells of the ride. Even the little Splash Mountain Ziploc bags they used to sell, we loved, and we had a bunch of. We still have a bunch of them. Let's real quick take a minute and look at the vinyl record. The vinyl record was produced in America in 1970 in Walt Disney Productions. We've got a magnificent full-colored illustrated book and long-playing record. Disneyland Records. We go ahead and we see the book. Brer Rabbit Runs Away. And you get all the amazing pictures and the illustration work that went into this with Uncle Remus. It's just beautiful. The style and the colors they chose. The colors they chose were just so beautiful. Though I have never seen Song of the South, I get a gist that it is a great, fun movie. Aside from what is the stereotype to feel about this film, the execution when it came to the illustrations and art style cannot be beat. I mean, these characters are beloved, cherished, and well known. Truth be told, my favorite in the ride is the Bluebird. I love the Bluebird with the top hat. You see him at the end in the beginning. He's kind of the Jiminy Cricket character, telling you this tale of what happens to Brer Rabbit when he runs away from home. There is some underlying context with what this character is when it comes to the film. I won't get into that in this video, but there are underlying reasons why we want to not love this exact adaptation of this. Let's look at the vinyl super quick. This is on Dark Purple Labels Disneyland Records, and it's just called Walt Disney's Stories of Uncle Remus. Memories as a kid, I can tell you, I used to watch Disney VHSs, and in the beginning they'd have these little ads that would run like little commercials, and one of them was Uncle Remus singing Zippity Doo Dah, or the sing-along videos with the little bouncing Mickey head over the words would be Zippity Doo Dah and Uncle Remus singing it. And I always wondered, where is that from? What movie is that from? And my family would always say, I don't know, one of those old movies. We're not gonna watch it. And I never watched it. I never watched Song of the South. I've never seen it. If you have seen it, that's awesome. But it's very hard to find and watch because it's frowned upon. And I see why. I certainly see why. But I guess from a marketing standpoint, design-wise, character-wise, creativity-wise, these characters are marketable. These characters, when it came to the artistry and the illustrations, the animation, they knocked it out of the park with these three characters and the story itself. But just the details are where it gets a little hairy. The little details that are thrown in, and some of the story elements are not so widely appreciated. And I see that. I want the ride to stay. That said, I want the ride to stay there. I don't need it to be refurbed into Princess and the Frog. We all know that the smell we know and love in that ride will go away once they refurb the entire thing and put brand new things in there. It's going to smell like a new car in there. It's not going to smell like dingy old Splash Mountain that we love. The bromine mixed with the machinery smell and the water with that whole aesthetic. You're not going to get it anymore. You can't smell any of that oldness underneath the new once it happens. Anything with this labeling and branding on it became hard to find. It's just one of those cases where it's super insensitive. Any kind of merchandise with the characters became blacklisted in Disney's eyes. So it's not sold. You won't see it. You won't find it. The little gift shop after the ride, you might see a few items with the labeling and branding on it, but you're not going to find a whole heck of a lot of stuff for Splash Mountain anymore. As again, it's frowned upon in our culture. So the fact that we have these two things, I cherish and I love, because I love that ride. I cherish the ride as it is, just the ride. I have no want to see the movie. I have no care of Uncle Remus and his stories. I don't even care about the story all too much. Brer Rabbit loses his way, and we see those two evil vultures with the top hats before the drop, and it just, my heart sinks, and especially if the ride stops right there. And it's happened many times to us. We've ridden that twice in one day, a couple trips, more than twice in one day. We just get right back in line, and sometimes it'll break down right before the two vultures, and your heart is just like, oh God, oh, now I gotta sit and wait for the drop instead of it just happening, and now I gotta slowly get risen up after the two vultures, you see. You get slowly risen up, and then imagine being stuck at the very top. I'm sure that's happened before as well. I've gotten stuck midway through on the drop, so you're like this, literally at an angle going up, and it stopped, and that is just heart-wrenching. And you just see all the water trickle down the little steps to get up there, the little the lift hill. It's heart-wrenching, but I love it. It's the most thrilling thing you're gonna find in Disney, in my opinion. I love all the different little drops, the 6 drops that you get, you get a little bit of splash wetness, and no, you're not going to be soaked on this ride. Your underwear and your socks are going to be fine on this ride, folks. Get your socks and your underwear a little bit wet with a drop or two of water. It's not going to be drenched. We're not on some river rapid ride. It's not. It's a log flume ride with a little bit of thrills, a lot of theming, some great songs, and just a great time overall. I love Splash Mountain, and I hope it always is Splash Mountain. Now, don't call me any names for wanting it that way, to stay what it is, but it's just one of the originals when it came to Walt Disney World, and it's in Disneyland as well. I've heard the Disneyland one is a little bit better. I have a favorite. My favorite is the Bluebird. Who's your favorite little character that is your little spirit animal in that ride? A lot of people like all different kinds of characters in that ride. I see how it can be frowned upon. If you fix those elements, maybe just fix and tweak those elements. Blacklist the movie Song of the South. We don't need to see it. Nobody needs to know about it. But change the voices maybe. And you got a great ride. You got a great ride and a great story. You just change the execution of the voices, the accents, and there you go. That's it. But unfortunately, we can't erase the past. We can't erase what's already been published. We cannot erase imagery like this. Like this. This has been printed and people have this. And if you find this again and you look at that, you wonder, what does that mean? And it's all under the table now. They shoved it under the rug. But again, we can't change the past, and what was published and what the original intention does creep through the woodwork, and it makes itself known in the publications. And so, sorry to say, I love the ride. I never wanted to change. What do you think? Some of the early things Walt Disney had a part of did seem insensitive, but I don't want this video to be all about that. Obviously, he loved these characters and loved the story enough for it to be published sign-off approval for Mr. Walt Disney, and that is good enough for me. That said, what do you guys think about Splash Mountain? Do you guys love it as much as we do? I never wanted to leave. I love this soundtrack. I love the song Zippity Doo Dah. I love the characters and the execution of the animation and how cuddly they look and how cute the characters are. We love Splash Mountain, and it is our favorite ride in the Magic Kingdom and in Walt Disney World proper. Leave a comment down below what you think about the ride, what you think about the history, and with that said, you can find me lounging to a melody. Take care, folks, and I will see you in the next one. Consider liking, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Go ahead, it really helps the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Thank you, folks, for tuning into this episode. If you do feel so inclined as to follow me on social media, you may gladly do so at Manza Media Art and Manza Media on every other platform. If you like prints, I've got an Etsy shop where you can see some of my original artwork and fan artwork. I'll catch you folks on the next episode of Manza Media.